Welcome to today's session of Cisco VXI Smart Solution, enabling VMware View Business Process Desktop. My name is Arshad Saeed, Manager Technical Marketing with Cisco. I'm a part of Cisco VXI Smart Solution Group, and I focus on desktop virtualization technologies. Cisco and VMware are quite uniquely capable of delivering this solution for business process outsourcing through their functional integration of essential technologies spanning from the endpoint to all the way to the servers. In this session, we will provide you technical information of how the solution can address the challenges associated with business process outsourcing, BPO. Let's have a look at the agenda. First, I'll walk you through View Business Process Desktop and its benefits. We'll talk about its use cases and how this validated solution addresses some of the challenges associated with outsourcing. Then we'll talk about how do we enable Business Process Desktop with Cisco VXI Smart Solution architecture. As we know, the Cisco VXI Smart Solution, a key component of Cisco Unified Workspace, delivers an uncompromised desktop and application virtualization experience. It brings three architectures together: virtualized data center, borderless network, and collaborative workspace. Then we go in detail and talk about technologies which are quite essential to deliver secure collaborative workspace for remote workers, especially in the outsourcing environment. These technologies include desktop virtualization over WAN. We'll talk about quality of services, which is quite critical when it comes to desktop virtualization and when you're trying to deploy desktop virtualization over WAN. Then we'll talk about UC and collaboration, where contact center plays a key critical role. We'll talk about desktop virtualization and its relevance to contact center in business process desktop environment. Then we'll talk about end-to-end security. How do Cisco VXI deliver end-to-end security in the context of desktop virtualization? And we'll summarize at the end. So let's talk about what is View Business Process Desktop. As we know, business process outsourcing is rapidly gaining momentum. However, it is challenging to IT organizations to deliver services to end users in BPO environment. Few of the IT challenges are traditional PCs are getting very costly. Data store on the endpoint poses security threats to businesses. Remote access across WAN is also getting more costly, and it offers challenges in sizing. VMware came up with this validated solutions to enable customers looking to outsource or offshore their business processes to effectively scale and streamline and centralize the management of desktops. It also ensures that the remote workers get a secure, standardized desktop experience over LAN/WAN. If you look at View BPD architecture, there are three independent locations: corporate headquarters, corporate co-located facility, and the third one is the third-party co-location. Each facility/location have 252,000 users with 100 to 250 megabit of WAN bandwidth. This architecture offers local services to remote workers so that they get the same seamless, high-quality experience. This architecture primarily is built on three main use cases. One is the contact center, which offers a task worker environment where the task worker will have a soft phone and be able to run one or two applications. The second use case is the offshore development. This is more like a power user profile where the developers are coming in or the contractors are coming in and they're writing the code and they're equipped with the development tools. The third one is the back office. We're going back into the task work environment where you have like 4 or 5 different applications. So key thing to watch out is these three use cases provides foundations to View Business Process Desktop. And let's look at these three use cases in detail. In many respects, contact center and desktop virtualization technologies are highly complementary. Contact center operations are increasingly becoming more and more distributed with agents working from home or outsourced locations around the world. And the BPD, Business Process Desktop architecture, serves to address this need. Data security, confidentiality, and business resiliency are extremely important from this architecture perspective. From IT perspective, it becomes much easier to centrally and securely manage the desktops. Now, in the case of offshore development, IT organizations have to build power user profile and equip developers with the right set of tools for productivity with the relevant security policies. The VMware View Business Process Desktop solution, built with Cisco VXI Smart Solution, enable organizations to deploy secure, scalable infrastructure that addresses the challenges associated with business process outsourcing, providing a secure, collaborative workspace for remote workers. Built on an industry-leading data center, network, security, and collaboration infrastructure, Cisco VXI Smart Solution delivers an uncompromised desktop and application virtualization experience. The architecture diagram shows components from Cisco, VMware, and third-party partners. These includes baseline components that provides the foundation for a unified workspace. And this also mapped into some of the co-located locations of BPD, Business Process Desktop. And we have tried to map it with the BPD and Cisco VXI architecture. So here is a remote location site that is connecting to the virtual data center. So each remote location site has its own infrastructure, has its own UCS where it's hosting its virtual machines. Similarly, at the main headquarters site, which is here you can see the virtualized data center, is also hosting the UCS, is also hosting the virtual machines and offering the similar functionality, which includes security, network, and all kind of software as part of it. So each facility has its own infrastructure, the VXI infrastructure, and they are connecting together. And this is very relevant for business process outsourcing environment. So let's look into the details of the architecture components, what we have seen here. The architecture diagram shows key components in the corporate headquarters, the enterprise managed remote location, and third-party remote location, which provides secure access and availability to virtual desktop together with high-quality unified communication capabilities. So let me brief you about the key components associated with this particular architecture. You can see the three locations. One is the corporate location, corporate co-location location. The second one is the corporate headquarters, and the third one is the third-party co-location. So each has a Cisco VXI Smart Solution architecture. Each has a UCS for hosting desktop virtualization, which is optimized computing infrastructure for desktop virtualization. Each site has security. When I say security, it means that it has the policy framework with Cisco Identity Service Engine, Cisco ISE. You can write policies based on physical machines or virtual machines. It also can recognize the new devices, any new devices coming in the network based on .1x. It can recognize it. It can support the BYOD initiative. Each site can have ASA as well as a remote access device or a firewall device. For remote access, if you want the remote workers in the BPO, business process outsourcing environment trying to access a local facility through a remote location, they can access it using AnyConnect devices. AnyConnect devices, what I mean is the software AnyConnect going onto any platform, in a mobile or in a laptop or a Windows platform or any other platform. So another piece is going to be Nexus 1000V. Nexus 1000V is a virtual switch that sits on top of UCS and it's supported as part of the VMware infrastructure that can offer layer 2 security as well. And on top of it, Cisco has a product called Cisco Virtual Security Gateway, VSG, that can do firewalling within virtual machines, east to west traffic. So each site has its own VXI smart solutions with unified communications turned on with Jabber. Each site can have contact center as well, contact center capabilities. The agents can log in from remote location as well. They can work from home and get their agent desktop. I'll go in detail when I'll discuss the unified communication. But in this particular architecture, what we are trying to solve the BPO, business process outsourcing use case. Challenges, some of the challenges which are associated with BPO, and through this architecture we are trying to solve those challenges. Here are some of the critical technologies which are a part of Cisco VXI Smart Solution, which can help business process outsourcing IT organization to address key issues specific to unified communication, desktop virtualization over WAN, and end-to-end security. So we'll talk in detail about what's happening in unified communication when you try to deploy virtual desktop and unified communication together, and what happens if you want to run desktop virtualization over WAN, and how would you implement physical desktop policy with virtual desktop policy. So here are some of the technology which we would like to go and talk in detail about it going forward. So let's go and look at what's happening in unified communication and collaboration technologies. So let's have a look at unified communication and collaboration technologies, which are key part of Cisco VXI Smart Solution, and what are the typical challenges we face when we turn on unified communication in hosted virtual desktops. So as we know, virtual desktop technologies are not designed to handle unified communication collaboration technologies initially. They are meant today for running word processing and other things. But when it comes to running unified communication and collaboration technologies on top of desktop virtualization, where the customers face issues regarding user experiences. And let me tell you what are the key challenges they face. So what happens basically if you are getting a virtual desktop from data center, here's an example. There is a thin client, there are two thin clients, you can see that, and they're going over the WAN and accessing to the data center. And they're streaming their virtual desktop and they're getting it on their thin clients. So what happened is the red lines you're seeing, these are meant for display protocols. All the traffic goes inside the display protocol. And which includes data traffic, voice, video, anything you are running is going to go into display protocol. As mentioned, all the traffic will flow through the display protocol to all the way to the data center or wherever the virtual desktops are hosted. In case of BPD, business process desktop architecture environment, where we have three facilities or location. One is the corporate location, corporate co-location location. The second one is the corporate headquarter, and third one was the third-party co-location. So each facility is localized, and if it's hosting virtual desktop, if the agent or any user trying to access the virtual desktop from his thin client or zero client endpoint, all the traffic passing over the WAN will be going inside the display protocol. That means it has to go through all the way to the centralized location, and then all the processing is going to be done at the UCS or the server level. Lots of GPUs or cycles are required, or basically lots of video rendering happening. Then you need to do you have to put more processing power memory into the server side. So that causes a lot of scalability issues, heavy processing on virtual desktops in data centers. Not only this, it will consume a lot of bandwidth of video. When you're running a voice call or video call, it consumes a lot of bandwidth, and your WAN can have more latency and jitter issues. And even if we are in the same room, if you want to make a soft phone call from one station to the other station, if both of us, for example, me and next door neighbor, is trying to make call to each other, we have to go all the way to the data center or the headquarter to make a call. So all the media flow will flow inside the display protocol, and then we'll be able to establish the call. It is very typical in BPO environment if you have more contact center centric use cases, and that could be it can be a big challenge. So let's see how Cisco solved this voice and video challenge of over desktop virtualization. So as we mentioned about display protocol, that everything has to go through display protocol and has to go to the centralized location or data center, and that causes the user experience to be not that effective. So from a Cisco perspective, what we are doing differently than others is we're separating out the signaling and media for voice, and we're doing peer-to-peer communication. So that means the display protocol will have only data, while the voice and video traffic will be out of the display protocols, which is in the form of signaling and media, and it doesn't have to go through the centralized location. It will go directly to the other endpoint. So if I want to make a call, soft phone call from my station to the other station, if both of us are running virtual desktop, then I can make the call, and the experience would be like the similar what we get in traditional environment. Currently, we support desk phone control with VMware PC over IP platform. Our platform for VXI 2000 supports PC over IP, also RDP, and then we also support our software-based appliance also support XP, which is on XP, that can do the same function. They can have a software for soft phone and can make a call, and it doesn't have to go through the centralized location, and the experience will be an uncompromised user experience. And this is the value proposition what Cisco offer from a UC perspective that can be very much relevant in business process outsourcing environment, especially when you go to the call center / contact center environment, and it's very effective if they are running virtual desktops. So let's talk about Cisco's contact centers, which is going to be supported as part of Cisco VXI 2.6 release. In many respects, contact center and desktop virtualizations are highly complementary. Here are some of the highlights of contact center environment, which make it well suited for desktop virtualization environment. Normally, the contact center agents usually are perfect examples of task workers who typically run a single or small set of applications on their desktop. Contact center operations are increasingly becoming more and more distributed, with agents working from home or outsourced location from around the world. If you look into the picture, we have an example here with dual VPN tunnel, from a third-party co-located facility. If you want to access that facility, if an agent wants to access it from the home, we support the dual tunnel or single tunnel over the internet to access the virtual desktop, and the voice and video traffic can be separated out in each one of the tunnels. So that's a perfect example, and it's a very unique use case here, and it's very much relevant to the business process outsourcing environment. Also, the contact center operations, typically industry is seeing a lot of churn, with agents moving relatively quickly between opportunities, and data security is also important. So a lot of use cases and the typical highlights leads you towards getting virtual desktop for agents, and it's pretty much well suited for those call center environment. Cisco VXI Smart Solution provides all of these benefits and adds unified communication capabilities and rich media. Here are some of the details about contact center support. I wanted to give you some details about it, which is going to be supported as part of Cisco VXI 2.6 release. The virtualized agent desktop may either use CTIOS based or Cisco Finesse desktop applications. Cisco Agent Desktop CAD is not supported in the virtualized environment. The virtualization of the desktop does not impact the integration with unified communication. The desktops actually use CTI to control the agent's associated desk phone. However, these desktops cannot currently utilize the soft phone built within Cisco's 6215. Here's one of the critical areas I would like to touch upon when it comes to business process outsourcing, and if you're trying to deploy desktop virtualization over WAN. A lot of questions being asked: how would you implement QoS? Because display protocol will have all the data inside. So how would you write the QoS policies, and typically how would you size the WAN? How much the bandwidth is consumed when you have one user versus two users? When you have like knowledge worker running certain applications. So a lot of these, and how much it will consume the bandwidth. A lot of these questions being asked. Let me try to address some of them in the coming slides. Here are some of the challenges when you're trying to access the virtual desktop over WAN. In this architecture example, if you are accessing your virtual desktop on a third-party co-location facility or location, you're trying to access that virtual desktop, and your WAN bandwidth is T1. And for example, if you click the video link or something, you're trying to watch video, and if video get rendered on the data center or on the third-party co-location server side, it will cause a lot of server compute overhead. You need to put a lot of processing. It will increase the cost to its very large extent. And then not only does that, it will also cause a bandwidth explosion, because the response for the video that is coming to the return pipe will be uncompressed and decoded. So it will increase a lot of traffic in terms of return. So without WAN optimization, it's going to be very challenging from a user experience perspective. And let me tell you what Cisco WAN optimization appliances offers from a VXI perspective. From a high-level perspective, Cisco WAN optimization can optimize VDI and non-VDI traffic. It supports RDP, MMR, multimedia redirection in USB, and it's available in different form factors, whether it comes in hardware appliance and it comes in ISR modules. It's available as iOS features as part of ISR. Overall, that will help, especially when it comes to VMware PC over IP and RDP environment. It can overall, optimize the print and USB traffic. So let's see how we can implement quality of services in Cisco VXI Smart Solution Architecture. How would we deploy QoS? So I'm just going to give you some high-level guidance on QoS. So when we talk about QoS, it's all about giving right DHCP bit to right flow so that it can make it to right queue. In the case of PC over IP, since it's based on port number, all the channels are part of single flow. So the entire QoS policy will be applied to the entire flow. Since PCI over IP have a lot of data inside, so hence it's marked with transactional data. And DHCP marking is AF21. Cisco have provided guidelines on DHCP marking, and there's a guide available which you can take, leverage it, and can read about it and get some more guidance from there. We have also provided you here an example of some of the well-known port numbers and some of the recommended DHCP marking. Especially you can see the voice traffic, the CTI, the SIP, and SCCP traffic. And this is by the virtue of the fact that we're separating out the media and signaling from the display protocol, so we can write and mark QoS policies because it's going in clear, it's not going within the display protocol. So typically what we have seen, the display protocols like PC over IP, which is a single stream flow, all the channels are merged within the PC over IP, and based on the clear text header, we can identify the packets of what's going on within PC over IP and write policies. That's from a PC over IP perspective, we can do the policy for QoS. RDP, you can see the port number, and we can assign and mark the bits for RDP for overall user experience. So pretty much you can see the network print traffic can be marked, and the other telephony and RTP and SRTP traffic can be marked when it passes over the WAN, and that gives us an uncompromised user experience from Cisco's perspective. Security is one of the critical component of View, B3D, and Cisco VXI Smart Solution Architecture. If you remember some of the use cases, the contact center use case and offshore development use cases, where the contractors are coming in and they are trying to develop software using desktop virtualization, organizations wants to secure the business assets. They want to make sure that they come in and they go out without any leakage of, especially the intellectual property leakage. Is critical. So Cisco VXI Smart Solutions offer end-to-end security for desktop virtualizations. So let me go through that. So Cisco VXI offers a layered approach to secure the network. There are three areas where we go through systematically. First, we want to secure the access to the network. A perfect analogy could be, the remote workers coming in and are trying to access the co-loc facility. The IT organization would like to give them secure access to the network, the remote access solutions technologies, and they should have the right security policies applied on each users at the user level. And the second systematic process, when they go pass through the access to the network, when they are in the network, they would try to access the data center facility. Obviously, they're getting their virtual desktop from there. So we offer secure virtualized data center solution, which we'll cover in detail about how we go into that. And then eventually, once they pass through the data center and they got their virtual desktop, they will be accessing the traditional security. They will be accessing the website. They will be all downloading all kind of material. So they have to pass through the traditional firewall, IPS, all kind of appliances from Cisco. So providing a systematic approach from a security perspective was very much essential. First accessing the network, then going to the data center, and then eventually taking the traditional security turning on. So in each of the areas we have those products, and the architecture contains those products, like Cisco ICE for writing security policies to the entire physical and virtual desktop. remote access VPN for all the remote workers coming in, accessing those facility. And in the data center environment, we have Cisco Virtual Security Gateway that can offer right policies based on virtual machines. And at the end, we have traditional security. We are the leaders in traditional security space, where you have to pass through firewall, IPS, web security appliances, and email security appliances. And let's have a look at some of the use cases, scenarios when it comes to desktop virtualization and BVD, and what Cisco offer from a security perspective. So as part of Cisco VXI end-to-end security, the number one layer which we have to pass through is the secure access. So first phase, we provide secure access to the virtual desktop. There could be different type of scenarios and use cases. For example, if an end user is connecting to a third-party co-location facility through VPN, we are providing them secure access. If the end user is coming over the internet, we're providing technologies like ScanSafe for web security. In case if the agents in the contact center environment and they're trying to access their desktop in a facility, we can provide them dual VPN tunnel using our zero client. In case of campus scenario, they have a lease line to the headquarters. Then we have .1x type of technology and TrustSec technology, where we can control the users access. So, and there are scenarios where you have corporate colo site 1 and site 2 want to talk to each other and want to basically, and the desktops are exchanging data in each facility. Then we can run DMVPN with WAN optimization solutions, part of it. So bottom line is, from a remote access perspective, for securing the remote access perspective, Cisco provides the comprehensive remote access solution to access virtual desktops securely from any place, any location, to any facility. And it pretty much worked hand in hand with business process desktop architecture. So when it comes to business process outsourcing, the IT organizations, which cares a lot about access controls, So even if they are giving virtual desktop, they want to make sure the virtual desktops are accessed and they have a control on it. They can do the access control of virtual desktop. So Cisco ISE, Cisco Identity Service Engine, can provide access based on users, network, and devices. Pretty much ISE can write policies for VDI and non-VDI users. So, and that will really help the BPO IT organizations to control the access of the end users, whether they are in the contact center environment, whether they are in the offshore development use case. So Cisco ISE can not only identify the users and devices, it can also profile the devices. It can also do the posture assessment of the devices, whether this device is compatible or compliant with the IT policy of an organization. So as desktop virtualization is gaining more momentum, the challenge of data security is also increasing, because prior to that, the client machines or virtual machines were not close to servers, and now they are a part of data center. So the data center environment has now shifted from a static environment to a very dynamic environment. For that, IT organizations are looking for security products like VSG, Virtual Security Gateway, and Nexus 1000V. Nexus 1000V provides the layer 2 security infrastructure over VMware that offers layer 2 security, which include private VLANs, access control, dynamic ARP inspection, all layer 2 functionality from a virtual machine perspective. While VSG takes another layer which offers better secure segmentations. In this particular example, if you can see that, it's a healthcare example where you have created doctor zones. All the virtual machines are part of doctor zones. They have all virtual desktop for doctors. For assistants, all the virtual machines for assistants are part of assistant zones. Similarly, for specialists, patients, and IT admin. And you can see the green sign, meaning that they are permitted, and the red sign is not permitted. Means that you can write policy that doctors can access assistants zone or machines. They cannot. In this example, they haven't done it. They're blocked, while the doctors can access all those servers, the web zone and app zone and database zone. This is just to give you an example of how you can write policies. However, VSD is mainly meant for writing policy for east to west traffic. So this concludes to our end-to-end VXI security offering. So we started off with remote access, then we went there and talked about the control which ICE provides for VDI and non-VDI traffic, and then we ends up with a high level from a securing. How would you secure the virtual desktop within data center environment? So let's look and summarize the whole session. So in summary, Cisco VXI, a smart solution with View Business Process Desktop, addresses today's IT and end user challenges, achieving scalable, high-performance desktop virtualization with media-rich communication, unified management, pervasive security, and uncompromised user experience. With the release of 2.6, VXI will support contact center, which is quite critical for business process desktop architecture. Which will bring best of breed solution for our customers. And I thank you for listening to this whole session.